Long ago, when the world was bright and full of stories, an evil wizard gained the power to touch the face of God. Narrativa, goddess of stories and weaver of our world, banished him to the void, but not before he stole a piece of her divine essence. With this newfound power, the wizard lay a dread curse upon all the world, the Glyph Purge, which struck from the minds of all mortals the knowledge of how to read and write. Now, all that stand between the Isle of Meotia and an age of endless ignorance are the bards, who tell stories of distant lands, exotic creatures, and brave heroes. This is one such tale.
Hello and welcome to Challenge Rating Zero, the latest and greatest Dungeons & Dragons podcast to hit the internet airwaves. I am Sam, your Dungeon Master, and I am joined as always by my longtime friends and adventuring companions.
Hello, I'm Brian, and I play Hektor the Gatekeeper.
Hi, I'm Beth, and I play Rilla Longshadow.
Hey there, I'm Alex, and I play Ruger Firehide.
And last but not least, we have the man who calls himself Michael, but who we call Parker. Michael Parker playing the druid Zurabak. Say hi, Parker.
Hi, Parker.
Fantastic. We are joined once again for a tale of epic fantasy. Also discussing the offshoot of the official gargoyles, the cybergoyles. Is that the official term, Beth, that you found on the internet?
Yeah, cybergoyles. Obviously.
Cybergoyles, which I had forgotten about. Apparently, by the way, this is a Gargoyles fan cast. There's an alternate timeline where they're robots.
A theoretical timeline.
A theoretical time. Forgive me.
Right,
That's
but
very
also,
important.
like there were characters on the show that were robot gargoyles and or cyborg gargoyles. But I'm just upset. Cybergoyles is so bad, and like Geargoyles was right there.
Damn.
Geargoyles is better, I will say.
Is that the name of our offshoot podcast? Is Geargoyles?
No, the fan cast is called. I mean, Brian floated the name Gabgoyles, which was bad, but he's since floated a better name, which is Turn to Stone. Is the name of our Gargoyles fan cast, and I'm sure
someone else
we'll
takes that name before we get around to it.
Yeah, it's possible.
There might be an Electric Light Orchestra fan cast called Turn to Stone.
Damn, we should look at that.
We really should.
Don't want to step in there.
Copyright TM, unless someone already has, in which case this is not legally binding, unless it isn't, in which case it is. I think that's how law works. I did drop out of college, so I think I know how the justice system works. Well, in any case, you guys remember when Xanatos had that like robot, like Iron Man outfit that just looked exactly like Goliath?
I theoretically remember that. Not sure that timeline exists.
Xanatos made a robot suit that looked like a gargoyle so he could fly and stuff, but it looked exactly like Goliath. And I'm like, man.
Yeah, because you model it after the leader, clearly, if you're the evil bad guy.
Well, it's just like if Alex was walking around in a suit of armor with my face on the front of the helmet, I'd be a little perturbed.
No, I meant it as a huge honor. What do you mean?
Okay, but like Sam, I think like that would be weird for a lot of reasons. One is because we live in the real world,
okay,
and not like a land of heightened fantasy and magic science. Magic science, yes. But
Yes.
like, if Lex Luthor's kryptonite suit, if he made that to make him look like Superman, like that wouldn't be completely wild. Like that would be like, yeah, he's.
I think it'd be pretty. If Lex Luthor wore a mask that looked like Superman's face, that'd be pretty fucking weird.
Yeah, but Superman has a human face and Goliath doesn't, and so it's less weird to, I don't know. I think that's less weird.
You know what? This is getting into the weeds and less funny as we go. So let's go ahead and do our Dungeons and Dragons show, I guess, if anyone's even still.
Which is also weird, because it's getting pretty deep in the weeds and getting less funny as we go.
We are deep in this storyline. In fact, when last we left our heroes, Hektor, Rilla, Zurabak, and the lawman Ruger Firehide had left the safety and security and chaos of the sprawling metropolis of Everspring and headed out on another adventure to recover another piece of the powerful spell they need to cast in order to save the world from the Glyph Purge. Our heroes have been directed by Anthony Geist the Stricken to head to the Springveil Forest in order to find an incredibly powerful plant known as a Death's Head Orchid. Our heroes departed through the Standing Stone portals at Everspring and arrived in Rilla's homeland, the Springveil Forest, where the Wood Elves have dwelt in seclusion for hundreds of years. And when they arrived, they found rot and desolation. The trees are dying, the leaves black and brittle, the rivers cloudy and full of dead fish. And not too soon after our heroes arrived in the depths of this forest, they were assailed by 6 elves who had horrific insects crawling around under their skin. They approached you all from around the wide trunks of the ancient trees that call the Springveil Forest home, and groaning in pain, swarmed at you while belching huge gouts of swarming insects. Let us start this session by rolling initiative, as you are in the Springveil Forest with Anthony Geist. The 5 of you are surrounded by the 6 elves dressed in tattered rags. They look emaciated, pallid. Their skin is writhing from terrible things underneath, and the buzzing is nearly deafening as they close in on you. Hektor, the gatekeeper, keeper of the gates, what'd you get on your initiative?
17.
All right, Rilla Longshadow, what'd you get on your initiative?
7. And just to make sure we're clear, I'm a wild elf, not a wood elf.
Huh?
You referred to her clan as wood elves.
Wild elves.
Yeah.
I think the record will show that's exactly what I said.
Okay. I didn't want to interrupt your lovely summation there, but I was like, oh, that's not quite right.
Okay, well, you know, we all could have just flipped 2 letters in our heads, but no, I appreciate you making a fool of me in front of our listeners. Ruger Firehide, what'd you get on your initiative?
8.
Okay. And Zurabak, what'd you get on your initiative?
Zurabak got 4, Snake got 13.
Okie dokie. And the bad guys got that number.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Or yay?
So the baddies are going to go first.
God damn it.
The 6 elves which assailed you from behind these towering trees are going to rush you. They're all screaming in agony, clawing at their skin. And as they shamble forward, arms outstretched, they try to clutch you and tear at you with their bare hands. You've each got one of these mofos coming towards you. One of them is going to attack Hektor. Let's see. They got a 12 on their attack roll.
That is a miss.
One of them's going to go after Snake. They got a 9 on their attack roll.
Close, but no.
One of them goes after Ruger. They got an 18 on their attack roll.
Close, but no.
Fantastic. And one of them goes after Rilla and gets a 12.
Close, but no.
One of them goes after Zurabak and gets a
Yeah, that's probably a hit.
unnatural 20.
Ooh,
So Zurabak,
critical.
this elf rushes forward, and
I assume he also confirms.
it was not a crit.
An unnatural.
Just a regular hit. A dirty 20, as they call it in the biz. You're going to take 4 points of damage as this elf just wildly flails at you with his claw-like hands. And let's see. The last one is going to take a swing at Anthony Geist, the Stricken. And lands a blow. They rush forward and kick Anthony in the chest. He wheezes and falls back a step. So 6 of these horrific pained elves swarm you with these horrible bugs crawling under their skin and swarming around their heads. They flail at you. You're all able to fend off their advance with shields, with dexterity, with your armor. You fend off their wild blows, except for Zurabak, who doesn't care enough to move out of the way, and Anthony, who looks a little taken aback by the horror of this scene. And that is the bad guy's turn. The buzzing, now that they're right on top of you, is terrible, and you can see that these angry-looking red insects are spewing out of their mouths and crawling over their eyes, in and out of their noses. Like, these things seem to be almost animated by these bugs. Their skin is pallid, almost like walking corpses, and these elves are letting out a low moan that you can barely hear over the buzzing. Rilla, you recognize these insects now that they are close enough to get a good look at, like right in your face. These are scarlet wood beetles. These are completely, from what you remember, completely harmless bugs. They eat leaves and, help decompose fallen tree trunks. These are the types of bugs you'd like catch and put in a jar and put in your room. You've never seen them behave like this or, devour or swarm this angrily. That is the bad guy's turn. That's going to bring us to Hektor.
Hektor is a little bit hesitant here because it seems like these things are more victims than anything, but also like they're probably a little bit too far gone to help. And posing an active danger. So Hektor is going to attack the one in front of him. Do I want to... No, hold off on that for now. Hektor's going to attack. Does a 25 hit?
A 25 absolutely hits. These elves are moving almost lethargically. They don't seem to be wearing any useful bits of armor. And you're easily able to smash your hammer into one of them.
12 points of damage.
You absolutely obliterate this elf. With your great and powerful maul, you drive this elf into the dirt of the forest below you. There's a small plume of dust as the tainted earth beneath your feet sort of poofs up from this impact. As you slay this elf, their skin splits open and a fountain of these insects ferociously blast out of their torso and swarm over your entire party. Every single one of you is now completely engulfed in a swarm of these crimson insects which fly around trying to bite and sting you.
We do have hide from animals on, by the way.
What's up?
We do have hide from animals on.
If these were animals, that would be convenient. Unfortunately, they are magical beasts.
Are they undead?
You're pretty sure these elves are undead.
Okay.
But Hektor, that is your first attack. There's no shortage of enemies. Do you want to attack another one?
Cleave.
Okay. You follow the momentum of this first hit and cleave your second foe. Roll an attack roll.
Does a 23 hit?
It sure does.
13 points of damage.
That is another dead elf. You bring your hammer along following the momentum of that first hit, and you sweep another one of these elves off their feet. You shatter both their legs as you follow through on your swing. They fall to the ground dead, and from their leg stumps again pour this enormous swarm of these red biting beetles, which buzz and flit all around you. You all are now encased in a cloud of biting bugs, every one of you. That is 2 down. There are 4 of these elves left standing.
Can I attack the swarm?
You can certainly try.
Okay. Great Cleave?
Okay, on the swarm?
Yes.
Gotcha.
21.
All right, you bring your maul to bear on this swarm of biting, stinging insects around you, and as you swirl your hammer around, you realize that you cannot seem to harm these bugs. There's far too many of them, and it's like trying to hit, a bunch of dust in the air. They swirl around your weapon, and it seems like you are not going to be able to damage these bugs with normal weapon attacks. It is ineffective.
Okay. Is there another elf within 5 feet of me?
Yes. You're all clustered together. You got swarmed on all sides.
Okay. I'm going to use my second regular attack. 25.
That is a hit. Roll damage.
11 points of damage.
Once again, you have slain another one of these elves. So in quick succession, you swing your massive maul around and the giant stone head smashes through 3 of these elves, breaking their bodies apart and disgorging yet another flurry of red bugs. It's now getting so thick around you it's hard to see through as these corpses breaking open just keeps depositing thick swarms of these creatures.
Hektor, this isn't better.
I don't know what else to do. Are there any more elves within 5 feet of me?
No.
Okay.
That's your side. That's going to bring us to Snake. It is Snake's turn.
Snake, eat them.
Snake just moves away.
Your snake slithers away from these horrifying elves and the bugs inhabiting them?
Yeah.
Okay. Snake slithers away defensively.
Lazily.
That's going to make it Ruger Firehide. Ruger, it's your turn.
Interesting. So there's one of these elves directly in front of me, yeah?
Oh, for sure. There's 3 of these elves left standing.
Okay, I wasn't certain if the one in front of me had met its demise at Hektor's hammer. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attack it with my flaming battle axe.
Okay. What is the command word for your flaming battle axe? Usually with enchanted weapons, there's a word you have to say to flick it on.
Okay, give me a minute. Let me circle back to that. We'll retcon it in. What I say, I don't know yet. But I am going to attack.
Okay. You draw your battle axe, speak its command word, and it springs to life with writhing yellow and orange flame. Its blade glows in this corrupted wood you find yourself in, and you swing for one of these elves. Roll an attack roll.
So 19 to hit.
That's going to be a hit.
Fantastic. So I do maximum normal damage, which is 12, and then 1 point of flaming fire damage.
Yeah, your weapon carves through the flesh of this elf like nothing. You split him stem to stern with one swift swing, and his body falls apart, and from the 2 parting halves comes bursting forth another gigantic swarm of these creatures. The air is so thick that it's like hard to see through these creatures. It's getting hard to see your companions around you. Do you have another attack?
Yeah, I have 3 more.
There's 2 more goons. One of them is within easy reach.
Is that the one that happens to be assailing the stricken?
Yeah, sure.
Yay! I would like to save my benefactor. I'm going to,
Okay.
Can I alternate and hit him with my steel shield?
So it's your main hand attacks first, then your offhand attacks.
Okay. Oh, dang. Yeah, 27 to hit.
That is absolutely a hit.
And 7 points. Oh, excuse me. 9 points of regular damage and 4 points of fire.
Excellent. You split that elf right through the middle. You lop their head clean in half, and again, a fountain of these bugs comes swirling out. It is now impossible for you all to see beyond 5 feet. You are all effectively blind due to the thickness of this swarm of these crimson bugs. They are crawling all over your flesh. They are the buzzing in your ears is cacophonous. It's hard to hear anything over the sound of it. You are completely blanketed in these things.
Are they having any sort of fear or aversion towards the fire, or no?
They don't. I mean, they don't seem to be so far. You've only hit their host
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
And yeah, there's one more goon. If you'd like to, but you can't see fuck all.
Yeah, no, what I'd like to do is use my move to escape the swarm. Just march forward. I would say we'll call it 25 feet.
Yeah, great. Cool. So yeah, you cut down 2 of these elves, disgorging 2 more plumes of these terrible red biting bugs, and you skedaddle. You slink your way out of this swarm and brush some of these bugs off you. When you turn around to see, you can't see your friends through the bugs. There's like a 20-foot wide globe of swarming insects that have it's a solid cloud of writhing red beetles. That's gonna bring us to Rilla Longshadow. It is your turn. You can't see anything beyond like 5 feet in front of you. There is a tortured elf right in front of you.
God damn it. Fuck it, I take let it swing at me. I'm just barreling out of here. I don't care.
Okay.
Swing away. I'm moving out of this thing.
All right, you go to move out of the swarm. This thing takes a wild swing at you. It only got a 6 on its attack roll, so you're easily able to dodge it, and you run out of the swarm.
God damn it, you guys. This is so much worse.
We'll say you randomly go, you happen to be standing by Ruger, where he ran out, and yeah.
I stepped like 10 feet past him. I'm behind Ruger.
Sure. But yeah, there's just a solid cloud of these fucking bugs. That's gonna make it Zurabak's turn.
So, would you qualify the bugs as tiny or small?
They are diminutive as far as the stats go.
Okay.
But it is a swarm and has swarm traits.
I'm not sure if that matters in this occasion, but Zurabak casts Gust of Wind.
Cool. You are going to need to roll me a Fortitude saving throw. Actually, hold on. Roll me a concentration check. My apologies, since you're in the middle of this swarm.
Hey, look, I put points into that. 24.
That is more than enough. Yeah, you pull upon your druidic magics and call the wind to your command. And you cast Gust of Wind.
The 60 feet range, line-shaped gust of severe wind. Fortitude negates severe blast of wind affecting all creatures in his path. Tiny or smaller creatures on the ground are knocked down. Flying, tiny or small, is blown back 2d6 times 10 feet.
Sweet.
And
so
takes...
you make a severe blast of air, approximately 50 miles an hour, that originates from you and shoots out in a line. Let's see. So you summon the wind to do your bidding, and a small globe of whirling winds appears in the palm of your hand, and you extend your palm outward, and you blast a 5-foot wide line just completely through this swarm. You're basically like in the middle of this big cloud. So you do make a line out. You clear out a line of space, blasting these crimson insects, scattering them like dust motes as the wind rages out of the palm of your hand. And you blast yourself a path clear. There's still a big cloud of them all around you, but you do make a path right in front of you that is free of these creatures.
Yeah, and then I just casually walk out. Stupid bugs. And continue on my way.
Nice. So you blast out a hole in this swarm, and you saunter out of it. Yeah, which makes it the bad guy's turn. You see in this opening that you've made within this swarm, Zurabak, it swiftly starts to move back and coalesce into one giant cloud. Just before it stitches itself back together, you see the last of these horrible elf-like puppets sort of shamble into that opening, and it looks at you, and its mouth opens wider and wider until it disgorges another giant cloud of these insects and then collapses like a marionette. And then this giant swarm of bugs splits into 4 smaller clouds, and each of them rushes at one of you. So, Hektor, one of these swarms... you didn't even move last time. So one of these swarms stays where they're at. And these biting insects start to worm their way into your skin and rip at your flesh. And you are going to take some damage, my friend. Let's see. You are going to take 11 points of damage, Hektor the Gatekeeper, from this biting, stinging swarm. Ruger and Rilla, you each get one of these swarms pursuing you. It just moves like a smaller cloud over to where each of you are standing and just stops there. The bugs swarming all over your skin and biting into your flesh. Rilla, you are going to take 4 points of damage. And Ruger, you are going to take 9 points of damage.
Ouch.
And, what?
I said ouch.
Okay. And Zurabak, one of these swarms wanders over to you. And you are going to take 13 points of damage from these biting, stinging insects. So each of you now has a smaller shard of this swarm on your person. These bugs are flitting all around you. You're no longer blinded because they are not that thick. You can hear because they're not as loud as they were when they were all concentrated in one spot. But you each have a smaller chunk of this huge swarm of these scarlet beetles that are trying to tear you apart. That is the bad guy's turn. That's going to bring us back to Hektor. Hektor the Gatekeeper, you are actively being...
Eaten alive.
torn apart by this swarm of bugs. I'm going to need you to roll me a fortitude saving throw at the start of your turn here to see if you can keep your shit together.
Is that a fear effect?
No, this is a nausea effect.
I rolled a 28.
Okay, you are totally good. You are able to keep your wits about you as these bugs tear at your flesh. And it is your turn. You are in the middle of a swarm of these creatures. What do you do?
Is there anything I can do? I wish I had spells that did damage. But I don't. Is there anything I can do? Literally at all. Fuck it. Let's try a thing that's probably not going to work. And then when that doesn't work, we're going to use tactical retreating. I am going to attempt to use my bardic music ability to fascinate the bugs that are attacking me.
Damn. What a wild card.
Okay.
Each creature to be fascinated must be within 90 feet and able to see and hear the bard. I have no idea if these things even have eyes, or ears for that matter, and able to pay attention to him. I am targeting specifically the ones that are attacking me, so they are paying attention to me. The bard must also be able to see the creature. I can see these things. The distraction of a nearby combat or other dangers, that's probably at play here. Would negate it.
You start to tell a story and weave your newly learned bardic magics in an attempt to fascinate these creatures that are swarming all over your body. What do I got to roll?
I have to roll a perform check, and that sets the DC.
Okay. What story are you telling?
I am telling a story about a famous exterminator.
Of course.
Who rid the town of Rock Hill of their bedbug infestation with his amazing extermination abilities. I rolled...
Yeah, Percy the Poisoner. Everyone loves that story. He was a great guy. So what is your check?
I rolled a 15 on the dice, so that's a 26 total. Perform check.
So they have to roll a wisdom saving throw of 26.
A will, but yeah.
Will. They have to roll a will saving throw of 26. Okay. They got a critical 1. So, Hektor, you are new to the bardic arts, but you know that normally for an ability like this to work, a creature has to have some sort of mind with which to fuck with. Insects, swarms of biting insects normally don't have a mind, but you can tell by the way these creatures have been behaving, the way that they take over bodies, the way that they split off to tactically assail you, that these things must have some sort of hive mind. And yes, you are able to fascinate the swarm that is devouring you. Congratulations, Hektor. They got a critical 1 on their saving throw. You have fascinated this swarm of bugs.
So they sit quiet. If they fail the saving throw, the creatures sit quietly and listen to the story, taking no other actions for as long as I would continue to tell the story and concentrate, to a maximum of a round per bard level, which I have 4 levels of bard. So,
holy shit. Hektor, with the power of storytelling, you have tamed the savage beast. This swarm of biting, stinging beetles slowly coalesces into a crimson carpet all around your feet as they become silent, land on the ground, and listen to your fucking story. Nicely done. Holy shit.
That is my standard action for my move action. As I continue telling this story, I slowly back away out of being actively in the swarm for
Yeah. Holy shit.
That's my turn.
Nicely done. Hektor the Gatekeeper, folks. It is Snake's turn. What does Snake do?
Continues on his merry way.
Fantastic. Snake's cruising. That makes it Ruger Firehide's turn. Ruger, it's your turn. You are in the midst of a cloud of biting, stinging, crimson beetles. I'm going to need you to roll me a fortitude saving throw to keep your shit together.
So that was a 7 on the dice for a total of 20.
Wow!
Jesus.
Paladin! Yeah! Yeah, you are able to keep your shit as these bugs bite and sting you and try to bury themselves in your flesh. You are able to keep your wits about you. What would you like to do?
Yeah, that's the better question. Because I can't tell a good story. So I don't think I'll be able to fascinate the bugs. I don't have any potions. I do have a flaming longsword, and I feel like it's unconfirmed whether or not I can do anything with the fire here. So I don't know. Ruger's gonna give it his best shot. Take a couple of. First I'm gonna. Can I take a 5-foot step and get out of the swarm, or no?
Yes, you can.
5-foot step, and then I'm going to attack with my still ablaze battle axe.
Your flaming battle axe. Go ahead and roll an attack roll.
17.
Let's see. Unfortunately, that is not high enough to hit the armor class of this swarm. You swing your weapon and unfortunately find nothing but open air. You are welcome to try again.
I sure am. Wow. Just as bad. So 16 there. So Ruger, as effective as ever, just backs out of the swarm and starts just wildly swinging at the swarm in front of him with a flaming battle axe, doing nothing.
You swing your flaming weapon into the heart of this small splinter of the swarm, and unfortunately, your weapon finds no purchase. The flames dance and leave beautiful traces behind, but these bugs, with an uncanny intelligence, swarm around your weapon, and unfortunately, are unable to make contact. That is Ruger's turn. That makes it Rilla. Rilla, it's your turn. You are in the middle of a biting, stinging swarm. I'm going to need you to roll a fortitude save to see if you can keep your shit.
11.
You are nauseated for 1 round. You spend your entire turn reeling and retching because there's bugs all over you. What does that look like? What is Rilla doing?
I'm vomiting on my own shoes. I mean, I was already drunk, so this is not
You
great.
were already drunk. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm puking on my boots and crying a little bit, I think, probably at this point. It's a very bad day.
Yeah, it's not a great day. So unfortunately,
I'm probably trying to get like a handkerchief up there, but it's not there's not a break.
So because you're nauseated, unfortunately, you can't attack, cast spells, you can't concentrate on spells, you can't do anything else. You can do a single move action, is the only thing you're able to do.
I move out of the swarm vomiting on my own feet. That's what I do.
Fantastic.
As far as I can make it.
So these creatures are biting and stinging you, trying to burrow into your flesh, and you freak the fuck out like anyone would, and amidst a hail of projectile vomit, you stumble out of the swarm's space and try to get free, but these things are clinging. You got bites and welts all over you. It's very gross and very upsetting.
My fortitude is a 4.
That brings us to Zurabak. Zurabak, it's your turn. You are in a swarm of stinging insects. Going to need you to roll me a fortitude save to see if you can keep your shit together.
Does this count as poison?
No.
Fey?
No.
Fortitude 24.
Okay, you are able to keep your wits about you. You are not nauseated by this horrific swarm. What do you do?
Leave?
Not a bad call. You just truck it out of there?
And go in the direction we were headed.
Yep, you were heading west towards the heart of the forest. You can tell these things are pretty fast, so if you're going to truck it, you're going to want to hustle.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
What is Antony doing in all of this?
That's an excellent question. As Ruger has that thought, you look over and Antony is just standing over on the sidelines, sort of where Snake is slithering, just watching shit go down.
What an asshole.
He's the worst.
As my standard action, I use the aspect of nature to increase my land speed by 30 feet,
Excellent.
and then I leave.
What's that one called?
Speed.
Oh, nice. Kind of straightforward.
It doesn't give any fancy descriptions like the other one, just speed. Druid gains plus 30-foot enhancement bonus to their base land speed.
So
That's
what does this look like in your mind as you channel this wild aspect? Do you get like cheetah spots? Do your leg muscles balloon? Like, what does this look like?
I'm thinking leg muscles balloon, and then like a lot of his actual muscles just sort of slim down into a leaner, svelte sort of look.
Excellent. Yeah. Your body transforms with this wild aspect, and you get the speed of a cheetah. And calling on the power of nature, you fucking book it. You rush away from these creatures. You blur past Snake and the Stricken, and you are, about 60 feet away from these swarms. Nicely done. But yeah, so it is the bad guy's turn. So while Hektor's swarm sits like good little bugs and ghouls and just hangs out listening to his story, the swarm that was assailing Zurabak sort of tries to drift off in his direction but cannot catch up. There's a swarm in front of Ruger which just rolls right back over him because he took that 5-foot step, and it's going to bite and sting him. You're going to take 8 points of damage, Ruger Firehide.
Ow!
And this time as the swarm rolls over you, I'm going to need you to roll me a fortitude save against poison.
Man, I'm rolling like garbage, but 21.
All right, you are good. As you've had sustained contact with these creatures, their saliva is starting to flow into your veins, and there's some nasty poison in there, but you're able to fight it off with your natural ruggedness. Rilla, the swarm you just limped away from, slowly moves over to envelop you once more. You are going to take 11 points of damage, and I'm going to need you to roll me a fortitude save against poison as these bugs start to interface with your nervous system.
Critical failure.
Oh no.
Okay.
So 5, I guess.
All right. Rilla, you are going to take 4 points of dexterity damage.
God damn it.
Your dex has gone down by 4 points, meaning your modifier has gone down by 2. And that is it. Right now, Ruger and Rilla are the only ones being enveloped by these bugs. Hektor's lulled his to sleep, and Zurabak's just fucking running. The Snake and the Stricken are also just sort of moseying away from this particular battleground. That's going to bring us back to Hektor the Gatekeeper. Hektor, it's your turn.
As I continue to tell my story, which Hektor is now starting to add a lot of embellishments to keep the story going for as long as possible. I'm going to light my torch.
Okay.
I assume that counts as a standard action.
Yeah.
Okay, then that will be my turn.
Okay. You light your torch and move away?
I mean, I already did move out. I'm not going to move too far away because I'm doing a thing.
Okay. All right. So Hektor keeps telling his story, and while just sweatily regaling these bugs with this tail, he pulls out his torch and lights it up. That brings us to Snake's turn. Snake is still trucking. Yes, Zurabak?
Yeah.
All right. Ruger Firehide, it is your turn. You are once again covered with bugs.
Yeah. Full retreat. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna flee.
Real quick, before you full retreat, I need you to roll me a fortitude saving throw to see if you get nauseated.
24.
You are totally good. Yeah, you truck it. Your duster coat swirls behind you as you pull your hat brim low and book it out of this swarm after Zurabak. And you are free and clear. You rush your way out, a small stream of these bugs fluttering out behind you. You knock a couple of them off your arms and neck. as you make your way into the forest. But yeah, you are able to escape these creatures.
I feel better now.
And that brings us to Rilla. You are in the middle of a swarm. Gonna need you to make a fortitude save to see if you're sick.
I rolled another critical one.
No.
Okay. So you're nauseated, but you could still move 30 feet, which I'm guessing is what you do.
I guess it doesn't do anything. They'll just attack me again, but yep. And I vomit some more.
So you...
I fucking hate all of you, is what I screech as I'm puking. Fucking leaving me to die. I hate you all. And then I puke all over my feet.
Dang.
Yeah, you get a little more projectile out as your companions, some in a panic, some a little more reserved, start running away from these insects. And yeah, you shuffle a solid distance away from the swarm that you're currently in, and get a little distance from it as you are violently ill. That makes it Zurabak's turn. Zurabak, you still trekking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing I can do about it.
Yep, you are full cheetah mode. You are rushing through the trees, weaving around giant ancient trunks that are blackened with the corruption bleeding in from the Badlands. That makes it the bad guy's turn. So these swarms are... one of them is still pacified by Hektor. The other two have seen their prey just completely drift away. One of them is still doggedly trying to pursue Rilla, but it's a little slow to catch up. It trails after you and is nipping on your heels, but it is unable to catch up this turn. But yeah, basically, Rilla, you are like the last one in this battle space, and there is now like a trail of swarms behind you trying to catch up. And that is the bad guy's turn. That brings us to Hektor the Gatekeeper. You got a lit torch. What's step 2?
So I have this pint of oil.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
So obviously, end goal here is to try and get this oil spread on as much of the swarm as possible and then touch it with fire.
Uh-huh.
I feel like as soon as I start putting oil on them, that they're going to wake up.
Yeah. Another thing to keep in mind is that your swarm is the only one not posing a direct threat to anyone, as opposed to the many swarms behind Rilla that are still active and buzzing.
There is also that. How far away from me is Rilla?
Oh, like 10 feet.
I can go real fast. Yeah, seeing everybody else retreating, and knowing that, like, maybe I can deal with this one swarm, but then I have to try and catch up to everybody else who has swarms chasing them.
Yep.
I decide, I fucking just toss my torch to the side, like, that's just done, and I don't need it in my hands right now, because I'm gonna need my hands free for other things. I'm going to move as much as I can. I would like to try and grab Rilla on my way to running away.
I was hoping you'd say that. Excellent. Yeah, you can grab Rilla and double move, no problem. That's great. You can't full on sprint because you're doing stuff, but yeah, you have no problem rushing over. You look at your torch and you got a bottle of oil in your hand. And you're like, fuck it. You throw them down. You rush over, scoop up Rilla, and you fucking skedaddle. You take off. I resist.
Let's roll the grapple checks.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
No, but let's.
You're too busy puking to. You're too busy puking to stop someone from saving your life. You pick up a bitten and dry heaving and poisoned Rilla. You plunge into the forest after your companions. So now it's a chase.
Is it my turn?
Well, it was Hektor's turn.
Okay. If you're jumping to narrative.
I was going to jump to narrative. Did you have a thing?
Rilla wants to chuck a fireball at them as we run.
Fantastic. No, that's great. So So now it's a chase, and Zurabak, leading the pack, is darting through these ancient towering trees blackened by the blight, leading the pack with Ruger running after him. Snake is slithering through the trees with the stricken pumping his legs beside him. And bringing up the rear is Hektor with Rilla slung over his shoulder as he plunges with his powerful barbarian legs through the trees. And as these swarms chase after you, Rilla, looking over your shoulder, Hektor holds up a hand and blasts off a fireball into this swarm. Roll damage.
From my middle finger. The DC saving is 16 reflex. And let's see. How many dice do I get? 1 per caster level, so 96. Okay.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm just using Google because I don't want to pull out my whole bag. 24.
Excellent. You hurl this fireball and it soars through the air from the tip of your middle finger and blasts into these insects. A small mote of flame hits the middle of these swarms and erupts into an enormous 40-foot wide sphere of unholy fire. Scorching and burning. You blast a hole in the trunk of a massive tree, which, weakened as it is by the blight from the Badlands, starts to waver and eventually fall. And the swarm is singed and tossed like a blast of wind has scattered them, and you see as they coalesce back into form to come at you, and then this massive tree falls in their path, smashing some and seemingly cutting off their approach as you all make your way deeper into the forest. It seems that you have evaded the swarms for now.
Ugh. I hate swarms.
I puke a little bit behind Hektor.
Yeah.
Like, while he's carrying me. I make sure not to, like, get him. But, you know.
We're moving fast enough.
Yeah, so you all, I assume, keep trucking for quite a while to make sure you're safely away from these bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that once I catch up with Ruger, since I am faster than them, I was going to scoop Ruger up too, just to make sure everyone's moving at a good, brisk pace.
Ruger, do you allow Hektor the Gatekeeper to scoop you up?
Wait, so you're going to scoop me up, but not Anthony?
That dude walked away immediately.
Or Snake.
I'm also looking at what I see as the order of people, and
I have a 30-foot movement speed.
but aren't you the next to last in line compared to us? Wouldn't you be the first person that I come up to?
Hektor, do not pick me up. If the swarm gets me, they get me.
I mean, I guess this is a conversation we're having mid-run. I come up behind you and try and scoop you up. You're like, Hektor, no.
Just get off me.
Hektor, do not set me down. Also, thank you.
Did you see the thing? I did not think that was going to work.
You charm bugs.
I was just like, what the fuck else can I do? I tried hitting them. That's usually what I do to things that hurt me, but that didn't really work.
Yeah, I was pretty certain my fire axe would work, and it didn't, so then I ran.
I was pretty sure I could explode them if I could just stop puking.
As you all are having this chat mid-run through the forest, from behind a tree on your left comes jogging the Stricken, who is moving a little faster than someone his size should. In his gnome body, he's shorter considerably than all of you, barely over 3 feet tall, but his legs are pumping with almost supernatural speed, and he is not even breathing heavy. He jogs up beside you and says, "Well, That was a warm welcome to the forest. Nasty creatures, those. Do you know what they are?
Oh, does the stricken not know something? Oh, poor baby. And then I, spit at him. But the spit has a beetle in it.
He catches the beetle you spit at him in his hand and turns it over and looks at it. I will admit that entomology was not one of my specialties when I walked the world as a mortal. These don't look like carnivorous insects, however.
They aren't usually.
Fascinating. It would seem that the chaos, the darkness, the taint from the Badlands is affecting the wildlife as well as the plants. This does not bode well for the rest of our journey. I shudder to think what else we'll come across.
Well, nothing can be as bad as you, right?
You flatter me. So you'll keep jogging for a while.
This is the worst day. Can you imagine being thrown over the shoulder of a barbarian while you're deeply drunk / hungover? After you puked for the last hour straight?
And have been poisoned. By the way, Rilla, after this conversation with the stricken, the second wave of that poison hits. I'm going to need you to roll another fortitude saving throw for round 2.
Let's fail it again. Oh, I rolled a 14, so it's an 18.
18 is enough. You are able to ward off the second wave of this poison. So you only take the 4 points of dexterity damage.
Is it possible that I have heard any stories about bugs that animate corpses?
You could roll a bardic knowledge check. That's certainly weird enough that someone would have told a story about it.
Nothing plus 2. 11.
There are certain types of creatures that will form a parasitic bond with another creature. You've heard tales of a strange kind of mushroom that will take over the brain of ants and make them behave in strange ways. You've never fucking heard of an insect that will, in a swarm, infest a dead body and make it move like a puppet. You've never heard of anything like that. That would take something incredibly deadly and something with an unnatural intelligence. Something that is completely outside the scope of what normal bugs would do.
So completely unprompted for everybody, Hector just well, they aren't mushrooms, that's for sure.
I just pat him on the shoulder since I'm here. That's right. That's technically true.
So, the Springveil Forest is vast. It encompasses nearly half the width of the Isle of Meosha. It is hundreds and hundreds of miles, and so traveling it will take quite some time. Zurabak, you are far in the lead of your companions with your augmented speed. Are you doing any scouting? Do you circle back? What's your game plan up there?
Part of him wants to set a deadly trap for his companions, like a pit.
I'm sure.
Because Zurabak finds that humorous.
Of course, it's hilarious.
But instead, I'm going to... Where'd my spell go? Oh, dang it. I accidentally closed it. Hold on.
I'm holding.
I'm not. Hurry the fuck up.
I would like to commune with nature.
Fascinating. That sounds fun.
Cast time of 10 minutes. I assume I've got quite a good lead.
Yeah, I'd say you got about an 11-minute lead for sure.
You become one with nature, attaining knowledge of the surrounding territory. You instantly gain knowledge of as many as 3 facts from the following subjects. The ground or terrain, plants, minerals, bodies of water, people, general animal population, presence of woodland creatures, presence of powerful and natural creatures, or even general state of natural setting.
Excellent.
In outdoor settings, the spell operates in a radius of 1 mile per caster level in natural underground, it's 100 feet per caster level.
Sweet. So you have far outpaced your companions. You are well ahead of them, and you take this opportunity to, after you feel you've put enough distance between you and the swarm, to take a seat. You find a large tree that has grown such that there is a sizable hollow between two of its roots. You sit down and begin to commune with nature. What does this look like when you cast this spell? Are you cross-legged with your eyes rolled up in the back of your head, or?
Kind of looks like Zurabak just picks up some dirt and starts chewing on it, sniffing around.
Yeah, you lick your finger, put her up in the air.
Yeah, that sort of nonsense.
For sure. All right, well, I guess ask 3 things, and I'll tell you what's up.
We're going to go with presence of powerful unnatural creatures. We're going to go with people. And I already know the general state of the natural setting. Things are fucked.
Yes.
So we're going to go with plants for the third one.
Okay.
And it's a mile per level, so what are we, 10? 10 miles?
Yes. All right, so you take a bite of some dirt, you lick your finger, stick it in the air, and you get a taste of the land around you for miles and miles. You pull upon the magical power of the wilderness and channel your druidic might to get a read on things. And you do feel the presence of a powerful, unnatural creature. There is a incredibly powerful creature not 2 miles to the north. It is not in the middle of your path because you're heading west, but there is some powerful unnatural beast that is 2 miles north of you and your companions. There's another one about 5 miles to the south, and there is a third about 9 miles to the west directly in your path. As far as people is concerned, you feel at the very edge of your senses, extending through the roots and trees, through the very soil of the land around you, there is a large group of people. They feel like elves. That's what they taste and smell like with your druidic senses. There seems to be a large population of elves 10 miles west, less than a mile from that large unnatural creature. And what was the last thing? Plants?
Yeah, I don't know if I can be specific or not, but, the flavor of the plant we're looking for, effectively.
Oh, you're looking for the specific, the Death's Head orchid.
Yeah.
There is not one within 10 miles of you.
Can only hope we got lucky, that's all.
For sure. You do not detect the presence of that, but as you trace your consciousness over the presence of unnatural creatures, and you find those 3. One to the north, one to the south, one far to the west. You find this settlement of elves far to the west as well. When you trace your consciousness over trying to find plants, you do not detect the presence of this Death's Head orchid you're looking for, but you feel pain and fear. It is like the forest around you is screaming in pain, like the very soil is sobbing. The forest around you is dying, and you feel it in your bones as you commune with nature in this place. The blight from the Badlands is reaching deep, 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 even far past what you're able to perceive. You wouldn't be surprised if this was close to reaching the very heart, the center of this forest. The plants, the trees, the shrubs, everything in here is screaming in pain. and it is rather unpleasant. And it is just as the last cries of the ancient oaks that surround you echo through your brain that the rest of your party catches up with you. You all see Zurabak chewing dirt.
I am unfazed and unsurprised.
Am I still poisoned?
Oh, that damage is there until you heal it. Yeah.
I will pull out. I've got a couple of potions of Cure Moderate for anybody that would like some healing.
Yes, please.
I toss you a potion.
Dang.
What is that? Is that 2d6? Or... Wait, I can't remember. What do I roll for that?
Cure Moderate is 2d8 plus caster level, which I did not have something written down next to this as to what that would be.
Caster level 5, we'll say. 2d8 plus 5. I just randomly rolled.
Can I get one of those bad boys as well?
I'll toss you the other one.
Yay.
So yeah, you all take a beat, quaff some potions, get your bearings. The stricken raises an eyebrow at you, Zurabak, and says, "You look like you've just had a conversation with the forest. Anything to report, Zurabak?"
Everything's awful here.
It always has been.
Also, this place is about dead.
The entire forest?
Oh, yeah.
How far has it spread?
Very. Almost to the heart?
Well, that is troubling. The heart of the forest is where we're heading. That is where the martyr's tree can be found, and where the death's head orchids grow underneath its crimson leaves. That is not good.
Well, I'm less worried about that than the awful, unnatural presences I feel.
Well, that is certainly cause for concern.
There's one in our way.
Excellent. How could it go any other way? Did you find anything else? Any good news?
Zurabak shrugs. I guess a couple of elves are still alive.
Rilla, I realize you've been through quite a lot today, but do you know where we are?
Do I?
Roll me a survival check. You are drunk and poisoned, and the trees are black. It's not good.
10.
Yeah, that's enough. You look around, and you are about 10 miles from your village of Greenleaf.
Well, Greenleaf is that way, about 10 miles. And this forest looks like shit. And
About 9 miles, or 9 miles that way, is one of them unnatural things.
great, wonderful. Yeah. Are those the only elves you feel? So those fuckers that make the wine aren't around? Is that what we... I want to know where they are.
Well, they're not within a 10-mile radius.
Wait, you want to know where what fuckers are?
The elven wine that's made in my forest somewhere?
Jesus Christ! Oh, God!
Where have they been hiding?
Beth, I promise you this. Somewhere...
Do they have a hidden grove? Are they underground?
Somewhere in this vast expanse of trees and fae and beasts, there is a clan of elves making wine, and if I'm generous and you're lucky, you'll meet them. But we got more pressing things to deal with.
Okay, that's a personal quest. It's fine.
But yeah, so basically, thanks to Zurabak, you know that, yeah, you're heading west. Greenleaf is about 10 miles out, and there's a horrific thing heading that way, and the forest is fucking dying.
Hey, Stricken, can you do that black-eyed thing again? It feels like when when I touched the void, or when the void touched me. I'm pretty sure my clumsiness is not due to the liquor. Something's in my blood.
I wish that I could expel the poison from your system. Unfortunately, my skills do not extend too far into the healing arts. I can patch up minor wounds, but that's the extent of my powers. When I helped you last, it was because cultists infected with the void itself came in contact with your flesh. That I can manipulate, not venom.
Well, that's not true. The last time he helped her was with the dreams.
That's true. That's true. But not what she was referring to.
Ruger, did Narrativa give you the ability to do anything about that?
Hector, my power comes from Protos, so just to be clear about that.
Same.
Well, now, Hector.
Let me tell you some good news, Hector. Sit down. Let's have a chat about the cosmology of Miosha and the goddess of stories and the god of heroes. Does anyone have any way to neutralize poison or heal ability damage?
No, I don't think so. I'm a weak baby paladin, so...
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Love to hear it. This is what I live for.
Yeah, being crippled before my death fight. Yeah.
You might be dying before I even thought.
So what would it be? Lesser restoration? Something like that?
I think so. Something like that. In any case.
Also, I don't think neutralize poison actually does that. Like, if the damage is done, it doesn't go away.
Yes.
Yeah, just stops it from spreading further.
So...
I will say that while everyone is maybe trying to figure out, while others are trying to figure out if they can help Rilla, daughter, Hector quietly just turns around and he's going to try a new thing that he hasn't done before. And he's going to attempt to cast Cure Light Wounds on himself. And by attempt to, I just mean I'm going to cast my first heal spell on myself.
Oh, is this one of the new spells you got at your level up that you refuse to tell me or the listeners about?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Hey, Max. I'm fully healed.
Fantastic. You pull upon your new bardic magics and heal some of your wounds. Nice. So ability damage will heal at 1 point per day. If you go sleepy sleep, you'll get those back at 1 point a day unless someone can expedite that process. But that's up to y'all. So, anyone got anything for that?
I
No.
do not.
I do have access to lesser restoration. I don't have it prepared today.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, it'd be great to be able to do it now, but that means that we can do it as soon as after our next sleep. And by we, I mean you, but...
So, you are in the forest, about 10 miles distant from Rilla's village. There are some large monsters stalking about, one of them not a mile from Greenleaf. And the forest around you is in such a terrible state of disrepair that the blight might reach the heart of the forest at any time. What do you all do?
Well, on the one hand, I think that, we should rest as soon as possible. On the other hand, we haven't gotten that far away from where we were attacked by elf corpses stuffed with death bugs. So probably not here. So we should probably be looking towards finding some semblance of shelter for now.
Might as well go to the elves.
Didn't you say there was a massive creature right outside the village?
Yeah. Hopefully, we can go around. Or murder it relentlessly.
Or run away. And she just stares daggers at him. He won't notice or care.
That's going around. That was an option.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. because he ran from the bugs. Well, so Zurabak floats the idea of going to the Elven Village. Do the rest of you have any thoughts?
That certainly isn't a great option, but also our only option?
Does my village have like a healer? Probably. I don't know. No, probably not, actually.
I can heal you
Like, no fucking magic.
1d4 points of ability damage tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay, cool.
1d4. Just 1d4. Just to be clear. It could be 1.
So as of tomorrow, I will bare minimum have 2 more points of dexterity. Sounds good.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, we're going to Greenleaf. It's just a matter of how long it takes us to come to that consensus, and if we all do so willingly. But we're going to Greenleaf.
Well, I mean, if the forest is about to die, do we have time to go to Greenleaf, or do we need to get this fucking thing done? But then again, how the fuck are we going to save the forest?
By going to Greenleaf and asking around.
And sacrifice. Yeah.
Maybe killing the big thing, if we have to. Just keep it down, daughter. We're almost there, okay?
It's going to be really hard to hide my hatred, I think.
I keep forgetting all this is being done while you were in the guise of a human woman. Named daughter. You're in your, yeah.
Yep.
So, you all take some time to heal up, assess the situation, and head off to Greenleaf?
Why not? How much worse could today get, says Rilla.
Very.
As you trudge your way through this dying forest, you weave through the towering, massive trunks of ancient trees, proud oaks brought low by this blight, their trunks blackened with veins of red, the shrubbery around you fragrant with putrefaction, the leaves black and brittle, fluttering to the ground like dead butterflies with every breeze. And after trudging for a while, Rilla, you start to see the trail signs leading to your village, the well-walked hunting paths that the elves of Clan Longshadow have used for generations, which are as broad to you as any highway, though they're simply small dirt paths. You see a few disturbing sights along your way. With Zurabak's spell to hide you from animals, you are not molested by any of the creatures that live here, but you see a stag, jet black, with blood-red eyes, feasting on the meat of a doe. Just off the trail, you see a hawk shrieking at the top of its lungs, fly headfirst into the trunk of a tree and fall fluttering dead to the ground, its neck instantly broken. And you see a couple of trees shuffling around in the distance, not too close to the trail, but their roots spasming, pulling themselves up from the ground and slamming into each other, some falling over and their roots grasping at the ever-darkening sky as you make your way forward. And finally, you see Greenleaf, or what should be Greenleaf. You remember your home, the village you spent your entire life growing up in, as a traditional wild elf forest home. Large wooden houses built in the canopy of enormous trees connected with rope bridges, ladders easily pulled up, trailing to the ground. An interconnected hive of homes built hundreds of feet above the ground, connected like the gossamer strands of a spider web. What you see now are fortified wooden walls topped with giant spiked logs that are formed in a large palisade wall around a cluster of trees that's about half the size your village used to be. As you look up, you see on the outskirts of your village that some of the large trees that these houses were built on are blackened and cracked in half. You see the scattered remnants of shattered homes and shops splayed out along the forest floor, and it looks like a cluster of about 15 trees is all that's left, their trunks connected by this large fortified palisade. There are elven guards looking gaunt and haggard, staring out with wild eyes into the forest with arrows knocked, strolling the palisade. And as this all comes into view, a large tree rips up its roots and shudders forward, slamming a fist made of branches into this palisade wall. And a war horn blares the alarm inside the ruined remnants of the village you call home. And that is where we will end.
Found it.
Home is strong word.
Hello and welcome to As the Dice Turns, the podcast after the podcast, where we take a deep dive into our player characters' motivations, frustrations, characterizations, and try to get a better understanding of them as people. In this portion of our show, we like to ask each of our protagonists a question and see if we can't unearth some deeper truths about them. Today, we're taking a bit of a departure, as we have in some episodes past. We are going to focus on just one of our protagonists, Rilla Longshadow. Rilla, thank you for coming to the studio today.
Oh, you're welcome, host. You know I'd do just about anything for a private skate party.
Yes.
It's so nice that the others can't be here for this.
Yes, you are. You did request to have the skate park that is dominating my studio all to yourself, and congratulations. You and your rollers blading cats can just take over the whole thing.
And the circus, of course.
Right, and the circus, of course. I'd almost forgotten the lore on that. But the price is that we have to go in depth on the question today. So, Rilla, the question for today is, what do you miss most about your parents? As our listeners may remember, you unfortunately lost your parents to a hunting accident when you were young, when you and Dara, your sister, were young. Mm-hmm. And learning of their demise was the first time your magical powers manifested. We spoke of your parents' courtship, their engagement rings that you ended up gifting to your Aunt Arafin. I'm curious what you miss most about them.
I prefer the term loan for what Aunt Arafin is doing.
Okay.
I do expect them back eventually.
Your aunt is borrowing those engagement rings. Understood.
She needed a reminder of who her actual family was.
Right.
She won't always need that reminder, I hope. But that's off topic. What do I miss about my parents? Well, I miss hunting with my father. I miss I miss reading with my mother. I miss...
You miss what?
Oh, sorry, you're right. Being told tales by my mother. Let's rephrase that. I miss my mother telling me stories as I went to bed. I miss a lot of things about them as people, but the true loss to me was the loss of my security. Without them around, Dara and I became deeply vulnerable in a way that I don't think we would have been without them. And And I know I've gone back and forth on this before and talked about how I think I might be glad that they passed when they did. Because best case scenario, I do think they probably would have attempted to get me out of the forest, and I don't think it would have gone well.
Right.
But yeah, I miss being part of a family. I have Dara, but it's not the same as like being part of a unit. It's just the responsibility. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing, like, there's not much leaning that I can do on her because she is so young.
Absolutely. No, that makes a lot of sense. If I could touch on something you said that the loss of your parents made you more vulnerable in a way that you didn't realize. If I could sort of hone in on that, vulnerable to what specifically?
I mean, to everything. Before their loss, no one knew I had magic, including myself. And I likely wouldn't have presented until I was much older, which would have given me this like a great deal more security and normality to my life that I just didn't get. So vulnerable to magic, vulnerable to the elders, vulnerable to being seen as less important. I wasn't anyone's child in that village, you know? It's a lot easier to sacrifice someone else's kid, especially when those parents aren't there to fight for them.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Now, you have become aware over the course of the adventure you and your companions have been on that the elders were planning to sacrifice you to repair the veil over the forest, the guardian magic that keeps the wild elves secluded from the rest of the world. You didn't know that growing up as a child. Is that correct? That was something of a revelation?
Correct. I knew that they wanted to replicate me if they could. I knew that they were fascinated by me and were trying to literally draw the magic from my veins. There was desperation in their actions, but never any explanations.
Well, it is obvious that the loss of someone's parents is always a time for incredible grief, and it is never pleasant. And of course, someone in your unique scenario, being born with magic, the first in a generation, the significance to your people certainly did place you in a very vulnerable position, and I can certainly see how without the protection of your parents that, yeah, I mean, you were basically wards of the state. You belonged to the clan and were made to serve their ends. I can only imagine how different things would be if they were still with us. But yeah, again, I know it happened a while ago, but really you have my condolences. And I obviously did not know your parents, but I'm sure if they could see you, they would be incredibly proud of the powerful adventurer and spellcaster that you have become.
I think my father would have enjoyed the way I use my magic to keep others on their toes. He was always a bit of a prankster.
And your mother, was she a prankster as well?
No, usually she was the pranky.
That seems like a lot of potential tension in a marriage. Was she a good sport about it?
Oh, yeah. No, it was always funny. It was never cruel, but often hilarious. So no, it was part of the joy of being part of that family. Absolutely.
It sounds like a house full of laughter. Definitely some positive memories to fall back on. Well, Rilla, I appreciate you taking a walk down memory lane with us today. I know this is some heavy stuff, but we certainly appreciate you unpacking this for us. We appreciate the insight, and we hope to see you next time.
That's great. Now, can we turn the disco lights on, or what are we doing here? Is there going to be a DJ?
We're going full Cosmic Bowl. We got the black lights going. Sharon, can you get the strobes? Yeah, crank it. Yeah, there you go, Sharon. Thank you. There you go. Have a blast.
Thank you.
And that's going to do it for As the Dice Turns. Sharon and I want to thank you for listening to our little program here. And until next time, keep those dice turning. Hey there, dear listeners. Sam the DM here, checking in with the credits at the end of the show. Challenge Rating 0 is edited by Audius Prime, a.k.a. Matt Sims. You can find more of his work at audiusprime.com. Music for Challenge Rating 0 is provided by the harp wolf Danielle Williams. You can find more of her work at danielletaylorharp.bandcamp.com. She has an album out called Why Are We Surprised When Seasons Change that you should all check out. Additional music for Challenge Rating 0 is provided by Justin Ra. You can find his work at Justin Ra, that's justinra.com. You can find his album Age of the Spirit on there, and it is a banger as well. If you'd like to find us on social media, we are on Facebook and Instagram at Challenge Rating ZERO. We are on Twitter at Challenge_0. And if you'd like to contact us here at the show, you can email us at challengeratingzero@gmail.com. Let us know if you like the show, how you're enjoying it. If you have any questions for our As the Dice Turn segment, and send it to that email. They will be read on air. If you'd like to support us here at Challenge Rating 0, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/challenge_0. Or you can just type Challenge Rating 0 in the search bar there at Patreon. We've got some bonus content, an extra episode, and we're working on more stuff. And if you cannot support us fungibly, we totally understand. Give us a review on your podcasting app of choice. We'd certainly appreciate it. That helps get our numbers up. Tell a friend about the show. Tell your D&D group, see if they'd be down for listening to us chuckle fucks play this wonderful, wonderful game. Thank you all so much for listening. We appreciate your ears, and until next time, bye.